guys, it's Kyra and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a continuation of my Makeup for Beginners series. I've already done eyes, or how to apply eyeshadow like a pro. I've done how to apply foundation like a pro, and now I'm going to do how to hide and contour like a pro. So this video is going to be focused on all about hiding and contouring. As you guys can see, I have my brows done already, my eyes done. So I'll go ahead and do the eyeshadow on the top and all of that, and then wait until I finish my rest of my face, like the foundation, powder, hiding, contouring, all that. And then once that's done, I'll go in and finish the rest of my eyes. I don't know, I just like waiting until afterwards because I won't have to deal with issues of fallout and, you know, things like that, and like messing it up with concealer and all that good stuff. So I prefer to do like half my eye, do the top eyelid part first, do foundation, powder, and then go in with the rest of, you know, waterline and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and just jump right into concealer. For today's look, I did use my Fenty Beauty foundation. I've applied this today with my Kabuki, my Sigma flat Kabuki brush in number F80. So I use these to apply my foundation, and now it's just trying to go straight in with hiding and contouring. So for hide, I'm going to also use my favorite concealer at the moment, which is the Tarte Shape Tape. So I like this concealer not only because of the actual concealer and the consistency of it. It's a thicker concealer, it's full coverage, but it also blends out really easily. But aside from the actual concealer, I love the applicator. As you can see, it is a wider applicator, and it's easy to kind of just apply it to the areas that you want to highlight. And I like this because honestly, to me, you get more product from the applicator, and because it's already a thick, full coverage, full duty concealer, a little bit goes a long way. So like in one dip, I can highlight my whole entire face. Like, that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and just apply this to the areas that I typically highlight. And whenever you're highlighting, you want to think about the areas that you want to bring out or attract light to. Okay, so whenever I'm highlighting, the idea of hiding is that you want to basically highlight the center of your face. You want to bring attention and bring light to the areas that you kind of want to stand out. And that's typically under the eye area, the bridge of your nose, your forehead, Cupid's bow area, and maybe a little bit on the chin. And that's because whenever light hits it, it'll kind of bring those areas out and make them pop. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I apply it to those areas, and I always do this on my face. And honestly, on basically every skin tone or every face shape, you can do the exact same areas. Now, where it'll change is how far and how you shape out the concealer. I typically leave it more towards like, kind of like an I guess it's like a check mark. So kind of like here, here. See the check mark? So here and here. You definitely do not want to bring your concealer too far down, because once you do, it actually widens the cheek area, and it just actually alters the shape of the face, not in a good way. When I first started doing concealer and hiding and contouring, I would bring my concealer all the way like down here, and it would look absolutely crazy. So now I'm just leave it kind of like right in this area here. So again, a check mark, down, up. Okay, again, down, up, and just fill that in. Okay, bridge of your nose, already have that. Cupid's bow, a little bit on the chin, and we have our forehead area going on. Now again, you do not want to bring it too far down, and even whenever you're blending it out, you don't want to bring it too far down as well. If you do, and I mean sometimes it just happens, if you do happen to bring it too far down, you can always cover it up with going back in with a little bit of extra foundation, or just whenever you go in a contour with your cream, you can always kind of blend it up into, you know, the concealer, kind of help kind of cancel that out. But for now, I have my concealer all applied to my face. I'm going to go ahead and take my beauty blender. I am just a sucker for applying concealer with beauty blenders. There's just nothing else to me that gets the same effect but a beauty blender. And I mean the original beauty blender. Just dabbing that with my beauty blender, and my beauty blender is damp. And I'm just blending this away. And as you can see, she already creates a really nice, brighter look. And also, I kind of blend out the edges here, like towards the temple of my face. I kind of blend out those edges so that there's no harsh edges, and it kind of just like brightens up, and it kind of fades into the rest of the foundation right there. And then of course the other side, just dabbing it and blending it away. And then one thing I'll notice here, whenever I apply concealer, I always kind of blend the concealer up on the bridge of my nose. And the reason why is because this actually, whenever you apply highlight naturally, it already creates a natural contour. So whenever I apply my concealer, just on this side, you see how this part right here looks, you know, brighter, and I naturally look like I have a natural contour right here. And I haven't even applied product, but it naturally creates a natural contour. Whenever you apply highlight, it naturally contours. So whenever I'm doing my under eye area, if I blend the concealer to the sides of my nose, it'll naturally create a natural contour. You see right there? It creates a natural contour on the side of my nose. So I have to do less work whenever I go to contour my nose later on. So yeah, that really, really helps you guys. Just bring it up a little bit on just the sides of your nose. Don't bring it all the way up onto the actual bridge of the nose. Just blend it onto the side. I'm going to go ahead and blend out my forehead. See? The forehead is nice and bright. And it'll attract light right there. That's exactly what we want. Now, I have a larger forehead, so I have more space to work up with up here. But if I did have a smaller forehead, like if my hairline came down further, like down here, I probably wouldn't have applied as much product, I wouldn't have applied as much product right there, only because, again, like I have more space to work with up here. So I want to, you know, attract light to the center of my forehead and then kind of detract the sides and, of course, the center right here. But if I didn't have a large forehead, I would have probably applied like half the amount of product that I did and also not bring the product as far out. Because imagine if I had like a smaller forehead and it came like to right here, for example. If my forehead was like this big, if I had applied that much product in that center, I would have reached my hairline, and we definitely don't want that. So again, it's all about your personal head shape and your personal features. But as you can see, from where I kind of stopped blending it out, I still have enough space in between my actual hairline to apply contour and kind of create that definition that we want. So it's all about your personal head shape. So the smaller the forehead, the less the product, and even whenever you go into contour, you actually won't go in and contour the center of your forehead right here because it's already, you know, small enough. For me, again, I have a 5 head, so it's not necessary, but I do it. But if I did not have that, I would not be doing this step. Or I would be doing this step, but I wouldn't be doing as much. And again, touching up those edges, make sure that everything is nice and blended out. Kind of blending it up on the side some more. See? And I love it because it's like, it looks so natural, but it naturally, you see how it naturally creates a contour. See up here, it looks like I have a contour on, even though I don't have any contour product on. But it creates a natural contour up here, a natural contour on the cheeks, and even on my nose, it creates a natural contour right there. So again, it's all about blending out and figuring out where product goes. Alrighty, so we have blended our lives away, and as you can see, we don't have any harsh lines. We have no patchy areas at all. We have just a nice, clean, natural finish, and that's exactly what we want. We can either go ahead and set the highlight now and then apply contour, or go in and contour now and, you know, apply the powder later. I personally prefer to kind of just set immediately after I apply product, only because it helps the creasing. So whenever you set your highlight with a powder, basically it's going to set however it looks in that moment. It only helps to prevent creasing if your product is not creasing before you apply product. Now, Kyra, what does that mean? So here under my eyes, for example, this is where your eyes naturally crease up, right here, right? Right under the eyes where your eyes naturally crease, okay? You see, it's just natural. So what I do to prevent creasing right there, I look up, I blend out that product. So I'll be using the RCMA No Color Powder. I'm gonna look up, okay? Blend out that concealer where there's no creasing at all, okay? Take my beauty blender and set under there. And basically it's gonna set with no crease marks, okay? See what I'm saying? So now, when I blend it out, I won't have any issues with creasing later on down the, you know, in the day. See how now it looks like it's more even. We don't have any creasing issues there at all. I'm gonna just go ahead and set the rest of these areas. Same thing with lash lines. Go ahead and blend it out. and then set those areas to prevent creasing. Again, blend it out, set those areas. Now, lash lines are one of those things where there's like not really any true cure for it. Like, there's no way to fix it 100%. If you have them, they're going to eventually show up in your makeup. But doing that tip will actually help to minimize them or actually prevent them through most of the day. Down my nose. And my forehead. Now, if you are an oily girl, you definitely do not want to skip out on setting your concealer and your foundation and all that, because that is just going to help control your oil. And I cannot forget to also apply powder to the sides of my nose. Remember how we blended in the concealer kind of onto the side of the nose? I'm going to set that as well. Alrighty, so our face is all nice and set. As I mentioned earlier, I am an oily girl, so I can actually bake. And baking just means kind of letting the powder sit on your face, letting it bake into the skin, and basically that will kind of actually create a brighter and, you know, lighter highlight. But if you do have drier skin, just skip out on baking. If you're having problems with patchy spots under the eyes, or like dry patches under the eyes, and you've been baking, that's probably what's causing the problem, is the baking. So if you have drier skin, I recommend just not baking at all. Just kind of set it in place and then immediately dust it away. Because if you do bake and you do have dry patches, what will end up happening is the powder itself will actually end up kind of attaching to those dry patches and will actually accentuate those dry patches even more. So just skip baking if you do have drier skin. So now for contour, I'm going to be using my Fenty Beauty contour stick in the shade Truffle. This is also one of my current favorites. And I love this because it's a super easy contour product. If you are new to contouring, or if you just want a really quick, easy way to contour, try this out. It's, y'all, it's bomb. Another way you can contour is just using a darker cream contour product. I know people use like, you know, like they'll use like a creamier foundation or like a foundation stick or something like that to contour. That's also something that you can use. Again, today I'll be using the Fenty Beauty contour stick. Again, that's really just all personal preference, whatever you prefer to use. As I mentioned previously, contouring is all about kind of detracting that light. So you want to kind of help to kind of not only define those areas, you kind of want to actually detract light from those areas and make those areas actually look more kind of sunken in and more defined, if that makes sense. So I want to take my contour stick, and the areas that I typically want to, you know, define per se is my cheekbones, the perimeter of my hairline, the perimeter of my face, and my nose. Those are the areas that I actually want to kind of look slimmer and, you know, actually create that definition. So I'm going to just go ahead and take my contour stick and pop that in my cheekbone area. I'm actually blending it upwards. So whenever I apply contour, I kind of apply it and then kind of apply a little bit going upwards, because of course I naturally want the product to kind of blend into the highlight. A key thing with contouring is that you definitely do not want to blend downwards. So like my cheekbone area, whenever I'm blending it out, you'll see me blending it upwards as opposed to downwards. If I blend it downwards, again, that actually affects the overall shape of the face and actually kind of widens out our cheekbones and actually kind of creates it like a really, really crazy look, and you don't want that. So I kind of apply it and then blend it upwards into the highlight, because ultimately we want it to kind of like all blend in together and look real seamless. So I'm going to apply it to my forehead also. Here in cheekbone. So in my guideline, whenever I apply it, is to kind of bring it down towards the corners of my mouth. I always apply it kind of starting where your cheekbone is, so like more than there, where that bone is, you're going to apply it, pop it right in there, and kind of blend it downwards towards the corner of your mouth. If you do have a bit of a rounder face, you can always go ahead and kind of curve it. That's why I did this actually. You can kind of curve the contour right here to create a very like natural kind of cheekbone. Like if you have a very, very round face and you want like a, you know, a nice like rounded cheekbone, you can go ahead and curve it like that. I personally don't. My face is kind of round, but it's not, you know, as round. I kind of have a more, you know, slim face around here. So I kind of just keep it more towards just a diagonal, just straight down towards the corner of my mouth there. And I'm going to go ahead and blend it out using this e.l.f. small stipple brush. It's like a $3 brush from e.l.f. Again, blending this upwards. You also want to make sure that whenever you're applying your contour product that you're blending it into the hairline. Because what'll happen is if you don't, whenever you take pictures with flash, it'll be like your, your hairline, a little small section of foundation, and then your contour, and it'll just look really crazy. So always blend it into your hairline. See how now it's like kind of nice and seamless from like my, my hairline to like the darker area, then to the lighter area around here. That's what you want. Again, blend it upwards into the highlight. You want it to look nice and seamless. Of course, not too far up. You don't want to bring the contour too far up, because that's the whole point of highlighting, is you want to have, the center of your face be brighter than the perimeter of your face. So keep it, of course, along the edge, but you definitely want it to blend in nicely. Okay, so now, as you can see, we have our definition. I just go in with my beauty blender, just make sure that I have all that product soaked up. Everything's nice and blended in. No harsh lines, none of that. Just nice and easy. Alrighty, so after we've done our highlight and contour, I'm going to go ahead and set my entire face. I'm going to be using my MAC Mineralize Skin Finish in the shade Dark. And setting your face just kind of helps to apply color back to the face. Again, as I mentioned earlier, setting your face with the setting powder also helps to prevent oil or oiliness. It really helps to keep your oil in check. Makes your foundation last throughout the day. This powder here in particular really gives you that nice skin finish. Like, it's called Mineralized Skin Finish, but it really helps to give you that nice skin-like finish at the end, which I love. I love this powder, you guys. I'm just using a really simple, like, powder foundation brush. It's just a plain fluffy brush. I'm gonna dust away that excess powder that you applied earlier, because we're done baking. Alrighty, so after we've set our face, I typically will go in and bronze my skin and then for the contour. So bronzing your skin, I've mentioned this before, that's more so like warming up your skin. So I typically pick a powder that's a little bit more warmer, kind of has like a little bit of a, maybe like a reddish undertone. And for that, I'll be using my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Dark Deep. Now this powder is, a lot warmer. As you can see, it's a little bit more red than the shade Dark, as you can see. But I like this one because it's a really pretty like bronzer. It really kind of creates like a nice like sun-kissed finish, which I personally like year-round, like winter, fall, spring, whatever, summer, of course in the summertime. But I love that like sun-kissed kind of look, and I feel like this does a perfect job of that. So I'm going to just take just a plain, I think this is Eco Tools. No, this is a Kala. I don't know where I got this from, but it's an angled contour brush. I'm going to kind of swirl it into the product and kind of just pat it lightly around my forehead. I just apply it wherever I apply contour. So on the forehead, it's real light, you guys, not a whole lot of product on the brush. You can see already, so I'm like warming up the skin up there. Same on my cheekbones, kind of warming that up right there. See how it's like really nice and warm over there? Getting forehead nice and warm. Alrighty, and then for contour, I'm going to go ahead and set my contoured areas, the areas that I applied that cream contour, with my black Radiance pressed powder in the shade Radiance Mahogany. This is also mentioned in my current favorites. Actually, all of these are mentioned in my current favorites, but I clearly need a new one. I like this powder because, first of all, to me, it's the perfect color. Now, this color, as opposed to the Dark Deep, this is actually a little bit cooler. So Dark Deep is a lot warmer. As you can see, it did have a little bit of that reddish undertone. This color actually has more of a grayish undertone. But I actually prefer a cooler contour powder only because, think of a shadow. A shadow typically is like dark and like more on like the grayish side. Just even a natural shadow in general. It's a little bit more, black and gray, and like, I just feel like this powder to me creates more of a natural contour shadow, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but like, I just prefer bronzing with the warmer powder and then contouring with a cooler powder, because it looks more natural to me. It looks more like a natural shadow. Okay, using my MAC 109 brush to contour. So basically, just popping this powder And this brush right in that socket. So right in there. Nice contour, not too harsh. Like I hate muddy contour. So like I feel like this brush, this powder, and like a light hand just kind of helps create a really nice natural definition without it being too crazy. I also always start with the product at the, what is this, like the outer portion of my face and kind of blend it inwards. If I just go in straight with like all the product on my brush, you know, down here, it will actually be concentrated right there and it'll be harder to kind of blend it outward. So at least here, I kind of push it in there and then blend it going downwards. So it's not like real like ugly and like too gray and cakey in that area. And I kind of just apply it and kind of blend it out. So apply it, you know, going downwards and then kind of blend it out in small circular motions. And here, whenever I'm doing the forehead area, I just keep this closer to my hairline. I do not bring it as far down as I did the bronzer. I will just keep this right along that hairline. Just literally right along in there. And then the last step, of course, is contouring the nose. I'm going to take my Sonia Kashuk contour brush, lightly apply it to that rich mahogany powder, just real lightly, and carve out my nose. Now, what I have learned with contouring my nose is that I prefer to actually apply the product on like the actual, how do I want to say this? I used to apply it on the sides, right? Like right here on the sides. And I stopped doing that. First of all, because again, with applying that product or that highlight to the sides of my nose, it already helps the slip of my nose. So I don't have to apply a product all the way down here. So I'm going to keep the product, the contour powder, like right actually like on top of the nose. If that makes sense. And kind of apply it on both sides to just kind of create a nice slim effect. So I'm actually on top of the nose, not on the sides of the nose. Hope you guys can see that. And I always blend it into my brow bone. That's what I always do. Notice that. I blend it here into the brow bone and kind of blend it downwards. So you see my nose right now? See how my nose is kind of like, it's real slim and nice, but I only apply the product on the top of my nose as opposed to the sides. And again, that product there, that highlight there on the side of my nose, helps to create that nice contoured nose already. My powder brush, make sure everything is nice. Blended. Alrighty, and now that we have all that done, I typically will just go in with some blush if I use blush. I don't know. I'm like, y'all, I've been like anti-blush lately, but I'm trying to get back into it. But I typically like to apply highlight first and then blush, only because I feel like blush kind of helps to kind of tone the highlight down. So I'm going to take my beloved Maybelline Master Chrome. And this is a Sigma High Cheekbone Hider brush. It's the number F03. And just lightly apply this to the high points of my cheekbone. So I don't bring this, actually I don't bring this down too far, like I don't bring it down here. I keep it more towards the higher points of the cheekbone and kind of create a bit of a C. So kind of start here and kind of curve it along there. You see what I'm saying? It's like a C shape. And I do that on both sides. So again, high points of the cheekbone, creating that C. And then for my forehead, I do like to apply highlights to the center of my forehead, but as opposed to kind of just packing it on there, I don't do that because of course whenever you pack something on, it'll actually concentrate it in that one spot. But I definitely don't want that, so I prefer to kind of just sweep it in that area just to create a nice like healthy glow, but not like look too crazy, you know what I'm saying? If I packed it on, imagine like my center of my forehead looking like this. Like that would be crazy. So I prefer to kind of just sweep it on there. Again, this is going to attract light. But of course, I will not bring the highlighter into the contoured area. So I'm going to keep it just here in the center, not bringing it up too far here. If I dust that, it will kind of defeat the purpose of the contour. So keeping it in there. And then my nose, you guys know I've been using this finger method. So I do the exclamation point method. So I just apply a little bit at the tip of my nose. Okay. and then create a line down the bridge of my nose. But I don't connect them. So it creates the exclamation point. You see, line and dot. Cupid's bow. I love how I'm a Cupid's bow. This looks so pretty when you apply lipstick. It just looks so gorgeous. A little bit on my chin. Just a little bit. And down here I do that same sweeping motion as well. Okay? You can always go in with the powder brush and tone it down if you feel like you've applied too much. And then last but not least is blush. I'm going to take my MAC Breath of Plum blush and a blush brush and just apply this to my cheekbones. And I like just a little bit, just a nice flush of color. And I actually prefer to apply my blush like right on top of that contour actually. So you see how I'm kind of applying that like right where I applied that contour powder? That's how I prefer to do it actually. You know, right on color, but like not too much. Always going in with the powder brush if you apply too much. I have a nice, you know, highlight. I have my blush on and my contour. Alrighty, so that is basically all I do for my highlight and contour. Again, that includes my cream and, you know, concealer highlighting and contouring, my powder highlighting and contouring, setting my face, hiding with an actual highlighter, blush, all that good stuff, and this is what it looks like at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and finish my eyes, apply some lashes, some lipstick, all that good stuff, and come to you guys at the very end. So as you guys can see, I have gone ahead and popped on some lashes, do my lower lash line, and also applied some lipstick. And here is what we're working with. I am almost done. The very last step that I always do when doing my foundation is to set it with a finishing spray. Now, because I use powders, well, I have to use powders because I am an oily girl. And whenever I use powders, I have to use a finishing spray. And the reason why is because that is what's going to help get rid of that powdery, cakey look. If you work with powders, you guys know how sometimes, you know, your makeup sometimes looks like makeup, like it looks like it's sitting on top of your face, and like it may look, you know, powdery or like cakey, or like even you may have some dry patches somewhere. This finishing spray is going to help get rid of all of that. I always use a MAC Fix Plus spray, and I'm going to just go ahead and spray it all over my face. And I prefer to kind of just drench my skin with that spray because it's going to help to moisturize my skin, helps to again get rid of that powdery cakey look, and it's overall give me a very nice like natural skin like finish. So I didn't mention earlier that I typically try to stick between 1 to 2 shades lighter in concealer. That's a really important step whenever it comes to picking out your concealer shade. If I want a very like subtle natural highlight, then I'll do like 1 shade lighter. So for example, I'll use like my NC45 Matte Pro Longwear Concealer. That's a really subtle highlight, and it's 1 shade lighter than my skin tone. If I want a bright highlight, then I do my, you know, Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Tan Sand, or like my MAC Pro Longwear in NC42, you know, just kind of keep it a little bit brighter, of course, if I want a more dramatic look. If not, keep it more subtle and just do 1 shade lighter, but do not go any more than 2, maybe 3 shades lighter maximum. If not, it starts to look pretty crazy, pretty ghostly, and you definitely don't want that. So that is it for my how to hide and contour like a pro video, you guys. If you guys enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. Also let me know down below, you guys, what do you want to see next? I've done eyes, I've done foundation, I've done hide and contouring. Do you want to see a lip one? I don't know, I feel like that one will be pretty short, but let me know if you guys want to see a lip video or anything else that I haven't mentioned already. I do have a eyebrow tutorial up on my channel already, as well as an eyelash tutorial up on my channel already, so go check those out. I've done those like a few months ago, so go look for those, and let me know any other details, you know, for beginners videos that you all will want to see. Just let me know and I'll do my best to do it for you guys. So that is it for my video, you guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and also do not forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you all in my next video. Bye guys.